Hi and welcome to Beatle Dave's Beatles channel. Today's video is a 55th anniversary celebration of the Beatles' Hello Goodbye single, so please come and join me. So hello and welcome again to Beatle Dave's Beatles channel. Hope I find all you fantastically wonderful Beatles people doing really well out there. And thank you so much for joining me again today on the channel. So today's video then is a special anniversary celebration of the Beatles' final single from 1967, which is Hello Goodbye and I Am the Walrus on the flip side. And I must admit actually personally, if I had to pick between the two songs, I was going to have to go for I Am the Walrus actually, because it's just a bit more experimental, and to me it's just an absolutely fabulous group effort, as well as the wonderful orchestrations of George Martin, and of course then you've got that live feed of King Lear, which makes it just an absolute classic Beatles track to me, absolutely fantastic. It's not that I don't like Hello Goodbye and its commercialism, it's just down to personal taste of what I consider to be my favourite Beatles songs. So there's no Ask Beatle Dave today, guys, as we've got an awful lot of items to get through. However, though, there is time for I Call Your Name. So yes, it's on to them old shout-outs, and it's a great big Beatle Dave hello to Elliot Ween. Now, Elliot Ween lives in New York City, and he was also a close friend of Apple artist David Peel. Hiya, Elliot. Hope you're well, my friend. Mark Foster, Alex Hayes, Jeffrey Price, Waggy, Zach Stargaze, hiya Zach, George Price and Lucas from Brazil. So that's a great big hi to you guys from yours truly, Beatle Dave. So on to the main event now, and I present to you a 55th anniversary celebration of the Beatles' Hello Goodbye single. So please, come and join me. The Beatles' 16th single, Hello Goodbye, was released for Parlophone Records on the 24th of November 1967 in the UK, with the song I Am the Walrus on the flip side. The non-album single was the first release after the sudden death of Brian Epstein in August. The song originated when Beatles aide Alistair Taylor asked Paul about songwriting. McCartney then sat down at a harmonium and asked Taylor to say the opposite of whatever he said. The Beatles began recording Hello Goodbye at Abbey Road Studios on the 2nd of October 1967 under the working title of Hello Hello. George Martin was producing the session with Jeff Emerick and Ken Scott as engineers. Take 14 was selected for overdubs with McCartney on piano, Lennon on Hammond organ, George on maracas and Ringo on drums with added tambourine, congas and bongos over the coda, with the ending being thought of while the group were working in the studio. 2 days after Brian Epstein's memorial service, more recording work including Harrison's lead guitar parts, McCartney's lead vocal and Lennon, McCartney and Harrison's backing vocals and hand claps were also overdubbed. Although John Lennon wanted I'm the Walrus as the next Beatles A-side, he relented as he knew Hello Goodbye was a more commercial song, and after its release, the single was topping the charts in many countries around the world. The Beatles produced 3 promotional films for the song, one of which was shown on The Ed Sullivan Show in the USA. Due to the music union regulations against miming on British TV, none of the promotional clips that they made were aired initially at the time in the UK. Being the Beatles' 4th Christmas #1 in 5 years, it sold 300,000 copies within a day of release, hitting the top spot for 7 weeks, giving the Beatles their longest run at #1 since the She Loves You single in 1963. For 3 of the 7 weeks in which Hello Goodbye spent in the #1 position, the Beatles' double EP Magical Mystery Tour sat just behind it at #2. So let's take a look. So here it is then, the Beatles' 16th UK single release, and this is the original first pressing, which was released on the 24th of November 1967 on Parlophone Records, catalogue number R5655. So a very commercial and very successful 45 Hello Goodbye, and obviously I'm the Walrus on the flip side. The sleeve for this one is actually in great shape. Of course, you've got the Parlophone across the top there, with the Parlophone and EMI details at the bottom there in the box. Let's flip that over. And top left there you got the EMI record tokens 7 and 3 and Emitex cleaning material on the right hand side with the important details and record mail, and of course at the bottom you've got all the trademark and EMI Records Hayes Middlesex England details at the bottom there with the 45 RPM. So let's take a look at the disc then. This is in really great shape, really nice condition. Of course there you've got the trademark and Parlophone details at the top, with the Northern Songs NCB and the P1967 on the left. On the right there we've got the 45 RPM and the catalogue number, with those sold in UK details on the centre there. And of course we've got Hello Goodbye, Lennon-McCartney, the Beatles and producer George Martin, with the made in Great Britain details at the bottom of the rim. So let's flip that over to I'm the Walrus. And on the UK mono edition of this particular song, you've got the 4 beats intro. Once again there at the top there, you've got the Parlophone details. On the left, you've got Northern Songs with the P1967. And on the right, we've got the 45 RPM and the catalogue number, with that sold in UK details again in the centre. And then at the bottom there, we've got I Am the Walrus from the television film Magical Mystery Tour, Lennon-McCartney, the Beatles, producer George Martin, and of course made in Great Britain at the bottom once again. And the single's in absolutely superb condition, really nice condition. So on to my second copy then of Hello Goodbye and I'm the Walrus, which I've got here then, released on 24th of November 1967 on Parlophone Records, catalogue number R5655. So this particular pressing then has some crossover labels with the Times New Roman text on the second side, which we'll come to in a moment. The sleeve for this is absolutely pristine, it's in lovely shape. Of course you've got the wavy lines at the top there on this particular sleeve, but it's really crisp, really lovely this one. On the top left there, of course you've got the same details as the previous one, with the 7 and 3 EMI record tokens there, and of course you've got the Emitex cleaning materials and the record mail and important details, as well as the trademark, EMI Records and Hayes Middlesex England at the bottom there. And of course this record must be played at 45. So let's take a look at the disc then itself. And then we've got side 1 there, of course, Hello Goodbye. Both these are mono mixes, all the original UK singles up to including Get Back were all mono mixes. Of course you've got the Parlophone and the trademark at the top there, with the Northern Songs NCB and the P1967 on the left. And on the right they've got the 45 RPM with the catalogue number and the all-important sold in UK details in the centre there, with Hello Goodbye, Lennon-McCartney, the Beatles and produced by George Martin, with the made in Great Britain at the bottom there, of course. I'm going to flip that over to I'm the Walrus, and this is where the crossover label is just slightly different text on this particular side, as you can see. Of course it's got the 4-beat I Am the Walrus as well, 4-beat intro on this particular mix. So you've got the Parlophone details once again at the top there, with the Northern Songs NCB and the P1967, with the 45 RPM and the catalogue number to the right, and of course you've got the sold in UK details on the centre spindle there, with I Am the Walrus there from the television film Magical Mystery Tour, with Lennon-McCartney, the Beatles, producer George Martin, and made in Great Britain. And this one once again is in absolutely fantastic condition, beautiful condition this. So on to my third original pressing then of Hello Goodbye and I'm the Walrus. This is the original French contract pressing, which was released on the 24th of November 1967 on Parlophone Records, catalogue number R5655. So one can only assume then that obviously because of the sales of Hello Goodbye that they had to use a French pressing plant. Slightly different sleeve on this particular one. You've got the wavy line though, but it's slightly different. You've got the parlophone at the top there with the two boxes, parlophone and EMI. And of course you've got the record tokens details at the bottom this time, with the EMI records there, Hayes Middlesex, England, printed and made in Great Britain on the front. And on the back there, of course, we've got Fran the Fan on all the details of her little story. So let's have a look at this pressing then. It's in really beautiful condition, as you can see. It's a solid centre as well. So you've got the trademark and the parlophone details at the top there, the Northern Songs NCB to the left, and the P1967. And on the right there, you've got the 45 RPM with the R5655 catalogue number. And of course, you've got the sold in UK details in the centre, with the Hello Goodbye, Lennon McCartney, the Beatles and producer George Martin. And at the bottom there, right at the bottom, made in France. Getting a lot rarer with this particular pressing actually of Hello Goodbye. So let's flip that over and spin that round. Once again then, you've still got the 4-beat intro of I'm the Walrus on this particular mix. It's the same mono mix as the previous two singles I've shown. You've got the trademark and parlophone at the top there, with the Northern Songs NCB and the P1967. Then on the right we've got the 45 with the catalogue number and the sold in UK details in the centre there. Of course at the bottom there you've got I Am the Walrus from the television film Magical Mystery Tour, the Beatles, producer George Martin, and made in France, right at the bottom. Really lovely condition, this one. So moving on to another edition then of Hello Goodbye and I'm the Walrus. This one's from the USA on Apple Records, catalogue number 2056. So this particular edition then is from the early 70s on the Apple label, as you can see. Covers in absolutely beautiful condition. Both sides, really nice. So let's take a look at the 45 then. Of course there, on the right hand side, you've got the publishing details with the catalogue number and recorded in England or produced in England by George Martin. And at the bottom there, we've got Hello Goodbye with Lennon McCartney, or John Lennon and Paul McCartney, of course, with the Beatles. And manufactured by Apple Records Inc. at the bottom there. And both these tracks are in glorious mono. It sounds pretty good, this single. It really does sound good. So let's flip that over to the B-side of I'm the Walrus. Top left there, you got I'm the Walrus there, John Lennon, Paul McCartney. And to the left-hand side, you got the Beatles with the Apple Records rim at the bottom there. And then we've got the publishing details on the right-hand side with the catalogue number. And once again, produced by George Martin in England. And this particular mix of I'm the Walrus actually includes the 4 beats intro, but it's actually got an extra bar before the Yellow Matter Custard bit. So obviously that's the standard issue for the USA 45. But it's a great mix. They obviously cut that bit out for the UK single. But this is in absolutely beautiful condition. So on to the second pressing then of Hello Goodbye and I Am the Walrus, and this was released on the 6th of March 1976 on Parlophone Records, catalogue number R5655. So not only were these sold separately at the time with all the other Beatles singles, but they're actually a part of a box set called the Beatles Singles Collection, which was the green box set initially, and later on it was the black box set, the World Records black box. And of course there you got the Beatles across the top, with the trademark and the Apple logos and the Beatles there, the singles collection 1962 to 1970, and 45 and the catalogue number to the right, with Hello Goodbye and coupled with I Am the Walrus. And at the bottom there we've got EMI Records Limited, Hayes Middlesex, England, with the EMI box logo. And on the back here we've got, of course, at the top we've got Hello Goodbye coupled with I Am the Walrus again, with that fabulous photo of the guys recording those promos for Strawberry Fields and Penny Lane. Really great photo, this one. And let's have a look at the single. Of course, once again, you've got a real brilliant replica label from the 60s. Of course, very similar Parlophone label. Got the trademark details there with Parlophone, with the Northern Songs details with the P1967, and the 45 and the catalogue number to the right, with Hello Goodbye, Lennon McCartney, the Beatles and producer George Martin. with that EMI box logo once again. So I'm going to flip that over. I'm the Walrus. Of course, there we've got the trademark and the parlophone details at the top there, with the Northern Songs details again, and the P1967. And on the right there we've got the 45 with the catalogue number, and then we've got the I'm the Walrus, and from the television film Magical Mystery Tour, the Beatles, of course, Lennon McCartney, the Beatles, and producer George Martin with the EMI box logo. And both these tracks are in mono again, with the 4 beats at the beginning of I'm the Walrus. Really great shape, this one, fantastic. So on to another edition then of Hello Goodbye and I'm the Walrus, and this one's from the USA, which is from the early 1980s, and it's on the Capital Purple label, catalogue number 2056. So let's take a look at the sleeve. It's a really lovely shiny Capital sleeve, that one, really superb. It's in great shape. So we'll take a look at the actual vinyl then. Of course, this is a great purple Capital label from the early 80s. Got a little bit of damage there on the right hand side, which is a bit unfortunate. So you've got the catalogue number to the left there, with the publishing details on the right, with the timing of the song, and of course produced in England by George Martin. Then at the bottom there we've got the Beatles, Hello Goodbye, and John Lennon and Paul McCartney. So let's flip that over. Once again then, you've got the catalogue number to the left, with the publishing details to the right there, and the timing of the song. Were produced in England by George Martin and the Beatles, I'm the Walrus, and John Lennon and Paul McCartney. Of course, both these tracks are in mono. You've got 4 beats on the intro of I'm the Walrus, with the extra bar before the lyrics, Yellow Matter Custard. And it plays really great, this single, really nice. So on to the UK third pressing of Hello Goodbye and I Am the Walrus. This one's from the Royal Blue Box, the Beatles Singles Collection, which was released on the 6th of December 1982 on Parlophone Records, catalogue number R5655. So taking a look at the picture sleeve first then. Obviously these are a lot thinner than the 1976 counterpart ones, but still nice to have. Great picture of the guys there in their original 63 Beatle suits. You got the Beatles at the top there with Hello Goodbye at the bottom. Let's flip that over. You got the catalogue number with side 1 Hello Goodbye and side 2 I'm the Walrus, with of course the Apple and Parlophone logos there. So let's take a look at the actual 45. And around the rim there we've got Made in Great Britain on the particular rim, the perimeter rim there, with the trademark Parlophone details, and Northern Songs with the P1967 on the left, and the 45 and the catalogue number to the right, with Hello Goodbye, Lennon McCartney, the Beatles, and producer George Martin, with the EMI box logo there at the bottom. So this particular side is actually in mono, but on the B side actually plays stereo, which is a bit odd. That's a bit of a mispress. And at the top there you've got the trademark Parlophone again, with the Made in Great Britain on the perimeter, with Northern Songs and the P1967. And to the right there we've got 45 and the catalogue number, with I'm the Walrus, and taken from the television film Magical Mystery Tour, with Lennon McCartney, the Beatles, producer George Martin. And this particular stereo version has 6 beats on the intro, and of course it reverts to fake stereo about halfway through the song. So just check your version, see if you've got a mono or a stereo version. Obviously if you've got a mispress or what should be the mono mix. So on to another USA edition then of Hello Goodbye and I'm the Walrus. This one's from 1983 on the Capital Retro Rainbow label, catalogue number 2056. So great looking 45, this one. Just got a plain black glossy cover there. So let's just take a look at the single. Of course you've got that retro looking Capital band, multicoloured band label around the outside there, with the Capital details at the top, and the catalogue number to the left, with the publishing details, the timing of the song, and produced in England by George Martin there on the right, with the Beatles, Hello Goodbye, and of course the writers John and Paul. So let's flip that over. Once again you've got that Capital logo with the multicoloured band around the outside, And the catalogue number to the left with the publishing details, song timing, and of course produced in England by George Martin. With the Beatles, I'm the Walrus, and John and Paul. And both these are mono mixes, and on I'm the Walrus it's the 4-beat intro, and of course you've got that extra bar before Yellow Matter Custard. Absolutely lovely condition, this one. So on to the 20th anniversary UK picture disc edition then of Hello Goodbye and I'm the Walrus. This was released almost exactly 20 years to the day on the 23rd of November 1987, catalogue number RP5655. So of course these 20th anniversary picture disc singles are getting pretty rare these days and a lot more collectible, of course. You've got the catalogue number at the top there and the guys in their grey collarless suits from 63. And Hello Goodbye and the Beatles, of course. So I'm going to flip that over. And you've got the catalogue number again with the Parlophone logo. And other side, Hello Goodbye with Lennon McCartney and Northern Songs. And this side, I Am the Walrus with Lennon McCartney and Northern Songs again. With the 1967 EMI Records Limited details there. And a superb picture of the guys, of course, from Magical Mystery Tour. And both these tracks are in glorious mono with the 4 beats on the intro to I'm the Walrus. Fantastic, really nice these. So moving on then, we've got the 3-inch CD single which was released on the 5th of June 1989 on Parlophone, catalogue number CD3R5655. And it was also part of the Beatles 3-inch CD singles collection which was released on the 6th November 1989. So a really great looking little single then. Got like a bluey tinge on this particular photo. Of course you've got the guys there in their collarless jackets again. Hello Goodbye, the Beatles. And on the back there you've got the catalogue number at the top with mono top right. That barcode. The Beatles, Hello Goodbye. And of course you've got the 2 tracks written by Lennon McCartney. And original sound recordings made by EMI Records Limited and produced by George Martin. Of course, you've got the fabulous gatefold on these. You've got the Beatles, Hello Goodbye there with the 2 tracks. And the great picture of the guys from Magical Mystery Tour with the actual disc itself on the right hand side. And both tracks are in mono with the 4 beats at the beginning of I'm the Walrus, of course. Really fantastic these to collect. So now then we've got the cassette single of Hello Goodbye and I'm the Walrus, and it was released on the 12th of August 1991, catalogue number Parlophone TCR5655, and this was part of the Beatles cassette singles collection, and it was also sold separately. Once again you've got that blue tinged photo there of the guys in their grey collarless suits. Then on the back, of course you've got the Beatles, Hello Goodbye and I'm the Walrus, produced by George Martin. Then you've got the catalogue number, the barcode, and the Parlophone, Dolby, and Apple Records details there. And that's the spine. As you can see there, the Beatles, Hello Goodbye with the chrome details. And let's take a look at the actual cassette. And both tracks are on both sides, running both sides. And these are really fabulous to collect as well, these cassette singles. Of course, you've got the Beatles there with Hello Goodbye and I'm the Walrus, and the Parlophone details on the right there, with the catalogue number on the left hand side. It's got the mono mix, of course, of both tracks, with the 4 beats intro of I'm the Walrus. And that's the same on the other side. So now then we've got the 5-inch CD single of Hello Goodbye and I'm the Walrus, released on the 2nd November 1992. It was part of the Beatles 5-inch CD singles collection box set. So let's take a look at the actual sleeve, which has got a black and white image again of the guys in their grey collarless suits, with the Beatles and Hello Goodbye. And on the back there, of course, you've got the Beatles, Hello Goodbye, I'm the Walrus, the barcode top right, and the Apple and Parlophone logos there at the bottom. I've shown these once before on the channel, but they're really great to see. These are really good silk screened pictures. These are really nice. Guys in their collarless suits again. And both tracks are in mono, of course, with the 4 beats on the beginning of I'm the Walrus. So moving on then to a very rare promotional CD version of Hello Goodbye and I'm the Walrus. This is part of the Summer of Love Capitol promotional set of 3 CDs from 1997 on Capitol Stroke Apple DPRO 70876-12120-2-0. And obviously the other 2 CDs being Strawberry Fields and Penny Lane, and of course All You Need Is Love and Baby You're a Rich Man. So let's take a look at the actual CD cover then first. And the counterfeits actually have quite a rough texture to the actual covers, whereas this one, it's smooth because it's obviously a genuine one. And obviously I've shown these before, the whole set. You can see that on the channel. So you've got the Beatles there, Hello, Goodbye and I Am the Walrus with that Capitol logo. And a brilliant photo of the guys there. Really nice photo from 67. Of course, there on the back there you've got the Beatles, I'm the Walrus, Hello, Goodbye and Capitol with the Apple logo. And of course you've got the promotional details at the bottom. So let's just check out the disc. And you've got that fabulous Capitol swirl there. You've got Hello, Goodbye there and I Am the Walrus at the top. With the Capitol logo and Apple logo there. With the promotional details and catalogue number to the right. And the Beatles at the bottom. So both the songs are the UK stereo remastered editions on this particular CD. And obviously with I Am the Walrus, it's got the 6 beats on the intro. And it reverts to fake stereo about halfway through the song. And if you're looking for the original copy of this particular CD, you need to check on the hub. It actually says mastered by EMI MFG. So if it hasn't got that, you more likely got a counterfeit edition. So the final copy then of Hello, Goodbye and I'm the Walrus I'm going to show today then is this 2019 5th pressing, and it came out on the 22nd of November 2019 as part of the Beatles singles box set. Catalogue number on this particular record is 6275 and it's on the Capitol label as well. So look at the picture cover first then, which is really well made. It's a great quality, nice thick card. You've got the Beatles there and Hola Adios, which is Hello Goodbye of course, and Yo Soy La Masa, which is I Am the Walrus. You've got that Capitol logo there with the catalogue number. And it's the same picture on the other side. But you've got the added bonus then of this with a spine. So onto the actual vinyl then. Of course you've got that Capitol swirl label. Really great looking label. With Hello Goodbye on this side. I'm going to flip that over. Of course, I'm the Walrus on this side. And both the tracks are in mono, with the I'm the Walrus being the 4 beats intro version. But the quality of this one is really great as well. Really great single. So thank you all for tuning in today, guys, and joining me. I really hope you've enjoyed seeing those fantastic Hello Goodbye 45s and other items that I've got from my collection. And don't forget, as always, I really appreciate any comments or communication I get from any of you Beatles people, and I will always endeavour to come back to you just as soon as I can. So don't forget to join me this Sunday for the Solo Years episode 4, and it's the wonderful George Harrison album, All Things Must Pass. So please make sure you're here, same Beatles time, same Beatles channel. So anyway, as always, if you enjoy what I'm doing, why not give us a like, subscribe and hit that notification bell so that you don't miss out on any future videos. This is Beatle Dave signing off. Beatle Dave.